So I figured while I had some light left for once, I'd get on it and make my video from, I don't know, 2, 3 days ago. Um, First of all, as you know, Instagram has banned me again. For what reason? They say I'm using a generator to gain followers and likes and some nonsense like that, which, to be honest, I didn't even know you could do. So I don't know. I'll just write this one out again because I guarantee it won't be the first or the last time that they'll ban me for no reason. But in that regard, I can't add captions, so certain posts might come off certain ways to people, but I don't have any control of that right now, and I'm really not going to curb what I want to say just because, I can't explain what I'm writing. So I apologize if you take things in offense, but at the same time, I can't control how you take things because things are not meant maliciously. Usually there's a lot of humor behind it, and if that's not something you pick up from it, I'm sorry. But moving on to the topic of talking about living alone while you're epileptic. I don't, first of all. I never have. I couldn't even go off to college because of my epilepsy. I've basically been holed up in my room for, it'll be 12 years in a week now since I was 18. And I kind of made this my little, apartment. I go downstairs, to see my mom and my family and my siblings and to eat. But other than that, I've just kind of adapted to my room and I've made it my little space. But the statistics I got back from you guys was that more than half of you guys have lived on your own or are able to live on your own. I want to say it was about 53% of people have been able to live on their own. And, which is, I was kind of surprised by that, honestly. Not necessarily that, oh yeah, we're allowed to live on our own, but by the fact that, it's that much higher. And, for those that don't live on their own or aren't able to live on their own, it's not a bad thing. It's for your safety. My doctors put a restriction on me, like I said, since I was, in college, and they said I can't live on my own. They said I can't or shouldn't do a lot of things on my own, and, just because they recommend that doesn't mean I follow that 100% of the time, but most of the time I listen to them because me being stubborn and just wanting to be independent, as much as it is nice, it's not worth the risk of a seizure for me, or, what may happen after a seizure. And I know a lot of people feel trapped. I know they feel like everyone's watching over them. I know they feel like they can't do anything for themselves. I know they feel like their freedom's taken away. All this stuff, it impacts your dating life. It impacts your friendship, especially if you're an adult. It's awkward to have people come over to your mom's house when you're in your 20s. But at the same time, the right people will understand, my friends now are like, oh, I don't care, come over to your mom's house, you just hang out in your room. That's how it should be when you find the right people. They'll learn to adapt to what you're dealt with. And another thing is the people that do live on their own, they were saying how scary it is sometimes when they're by themselves and they have seizures and no one's there. For me personally, I have nocturnal seizures for the most part. So if I were to have a really bad nocturnal seizure and my mom or my brother weren't downstairs or down the hall, who knows what could have happened. When I went on my cruise and I wandered around the ship at 2 a.m. having a seizure, thankfully my best friend was there because she heard me slam the door in my seizure and came and found me. Otherwise, I could have gone overboard and killed myself. So the fact that you want to live on your own is understandable. It's something that adults all want to achieve, of course. You want that independence. You want to feel like you don't need to depend on your parents for the rest of your life. But sometimes we have to bend to, our epilepsy a little bit. And, for those that do live on your own and you're thriving and you just have tiny days that are tough, good for you guys. That's awesome. And you show us that it can be, attainable at one point. But, for those that don't know where, when that'll happen for you, don't beat yourself up on it, because I think it's more important to stay safe than it is to hit that milestone of owning your own house or being in your own apartment, like, if that makes sense, So it'll happen, it's just, and if it doesn't, who cares? You can live with friends, you can live with your, loved ones, it's better to be safe, in my opinion. So think about, the dangers of what might happen, if you do have a seizure and you're by yourself. If you have a really bad seizure and you're by yourself, if you're showering and, someone doesn't hear you fall, and I'm not trying to scare those that do, live by themselves, and I don't want to make it even scarier for you, but I'm just thinking of the people that specifically beat themselves up because they're stuck at home. Just, keep all the things in mind that your family does get to do for you, that they help you with, that they get to look out for, even as annoying as it may be. It is for a good reason. So be patient with it. Epilepsy is a long freaking process. It's a lifelong thing, and you'll just have to learn how to live with it, and you will. It'll get there. So that's it for this week. I just wanted to wrap that up, and sorry this was late, but I actually voted for once, and the lines were so freaking long, it was ridiculous. But I will see you guys later, and the band supposedly lives on the 9th. So then I will be able to write captions and explain things better, not from my personal account, but in the meantime, it's personal account stories and blank posts that, people might take certain ways or not certain ways. So again, I'm sorry about that, but that's not the intent, and I'm just an opinionated person. So I will see you guys later.